Welcome back to Not Real Fishing, everybody. And today we are going to be going to fish the creek, and hopefully it's not going to be super shallow. But today's video is going to be more of a catch up slash like update kind of video. I'm going to put a timestamp, like a whatever, to pop up. So if you don't want to hear the update of everything that's been going on for the past like month and a half since I've created a video, and you want to get right to the fishing, you can just click that. I have no idea if this intro is going to take me 5 minutes or 20 minutes. I have a lot to talk about with y'all. There's going to be some changes to the channel. Nothing's being taken away. There's going to be some stuff added in. Yeah, so the goal today is, just to keep it strictly for fishing until we get to the water. Then I'll start talking about all the changes. We're gonna just go there. I've tied a bunch of new flies. Pretty much renewed my fly box because I was able to get my fly tying stuff out of storage. Because that's one of the things I want to talk to y'all about. Is I've moved since last we've talked. I've moved. I've had 3 teeth pulled. So yeah, it's been a mess, but yeah, I'll explain all that once we get to the water. Target of the day is going to be bluegill most likely, because if the pond is really low, that's probably the only thing they're gonna. Wow, that's a lot of people. The only thing that's really going to be biting is probably bluegill. One of the flies I want to try might target bass. I'll show you those when we get to the water as well. So yeah. I'll just meet you guys at the water and we'll get all caught up then. So yeah, meet y'all at the water. All right, guys, we have made it to the spot. Ooh, blackberries. Huh, there's a blackberry right there. There's one there too. There's a whole bunch of blackberries. Anyway, we've made it to the spot, guys, and we're gonna take a quick walk down this little path here to see what the water level is like. If we can fish this little spot, we will. Not sure. Please don't sting me, Mr. Wasp. Spider web. Well. We do have water. See a big old turtle. A big old turtle. It looks pretty shallow, so we might start here. There's a really cool turtle over there just swimming around. Water's really clear. There could be a couple bluegills at the bottom of these falls. But I think what we're gonna do, since we have some talking to do, is we're gonna start walking further back, because that's where I'd like to start. And we're gonna pick it up there, because it gets deeper further back in the creek. And I'd rather fish that part than up here in the shallows. But yeah, let's get down to the brass tacks here, people. So, y'all may have known my last video was at the industrial pond, and we were talking about, this is pretty. Hope I don't get bit by a snake. We were talking about my anxiety and all the issues that I was having. And my anxiety has led me to some recent revelations that have kind of changed my perspective on things and how I live my life. So let's see how to get into this the easiest way possible. So let's check right here. Without getting like some weird, crazy, long backstory on my entire life, man, this creek is so shallow. Like, it's like almost completely dried up. Like, I know like a couple times we came here and we said we've never seen it this low, but like, look at that. That's extremely shallow. I've definitely never seen it this low. Hopefully there's going to be even anywhere to fish in this creek, because if the back section where it's deep is only like a foot deep, there may not be any fish in there. But anyway, yeah, getting back to the story at hand. So a lot of you might know, or probably don't know, because I don't think I've ever talked about it on camera, about where I line up religiously. I grew up in a house that they were more spiritual than religious, but I had a family friend who used to take me to church every Sunday. So if I had to say a denomination, just to shout out one, it'd probably be Baptist, because I went to a Baptist church. Oh, there goes a spider on my hand. So it's kind of what I was exposed to, right? And then, you know, so I really did go to church. I went to church every Sunday, was very religious. I got saved, you know, I accepted the whole Jesus coming into my heart. I acknowledged I was a sinner, all that stuff when I was younger. If you haven't done that, I would definitely recommend looking into it, because I don't think anybody wants to face the alternative. All right, let's see here. Water is crystal. Okay, there's a little bluegill. Okay. Water is crystal clear because of all the sand filtering the mud out. But anyway, so I grew up, of all of my family members, I'd say I was probably the most quote unquote religious, as far as like being outspoken and being involved in the church. And then I met a girl, fell in love with her, and we had planned on getting married, all this stuff. And then 11 years later, we broke up, never got married, etc., etc. So there's some nice little bluegill down there. We're gonna start here. There's a couple little bluegill down here. They're not real big, but whoa, there's a hole there. But they're big enough we might be able to catch a couple. Just to get the ball rolling while we talk. So during that 11 years time, I started drinking, I veered away, and I really didn't put God in the forefront of my mind. And, you know, I think part of that is what led me to anxiety problems that I have. Is I wasn't taking care of myself. I was focusing on myself and of course my significant other. But when that all went sideways and it was just me, you know, obviously I'm dating somebody else now, and we kind of started doing similar things that I did with my ex, as far as like when it came to like, you know, sex outside of marriage, all that kind of stuff. And I thought I had the panic attack things solved, and I kept trying to find every answer that I could to fix it, you know, like doing every little psychological trick that I read online, doing every little piece of advice that I could think of. Well, the one thing I didn't want to do, and I didn't want to do it, and I didn't really think there was a reason to, was ask God to help me with it. And then when I finally did, I realized that I was living a hypocritical lifestyle, where here I am asking God to help me with my anxiety issues, and yet I'm not doing anything for Him. And I kind of realized that every anxiety treatment that I tried was using my own understanding, my own idea of this, my and trying to make it so like I could understand it, and I knew this and I knew that, as opposed to trying to lean on the Lord's understanding and try to trust in Him. And so pretty much I've decided that I'm going to rededicate my life to Christ. And thankfully, when I told my girlfriend about this, she was open to it, and she actually got saved a couple weeks ago. So praise God for that. So we're getting nibbles, but they're missing the hook. But before we change flies, I'm gonna go a little bit further down, see if maybe there's some bigger gills that can get this hook in their mouth. So anyways, after coming to the conclusion that I need to get right with God before I can start worrying about anything else, that's kind of what I've been doing. I started reading my Bible again. I've started going to church, been praying, been asking God for guidance. And one of the things that I've kind of recognized is that as much as I love this YouTube channel, I've got to find a way to make it be for God. And I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I don't know if maybe we're just going to talk about maybe, because I only film these maybe once or twice a week. I don't know if that's going to be talking about something that I've learned recently in the scripture. I don't know if we're just going to start having like a prayer before we fish. I don't know yet. I'm still praying to God about it and trying to lean on his guidance on what I should do. And but as far as anxiety, trusting him to help me with my issues has definitely been a breakthrough. And I'll say that my anxiety's not gone. I can't sit there and say the minute I turned to God, I had this miraculous feeling and it all went away. No, I still get the panic attacks. But I feel like those panic attacks, I try to look at them as like a reminder that I'm mortal, I am weak, I am nothing without him. And I think that might be a way of him humbling me and keeping me honest in a way. So that's kind of where I'm at with that as far as my thinking on the anxiety issue. So I do still have panic attacks. They're not as frequent, and it's definitely easier to get through them as opposed to before, because I'm not really trusting on my own abilities. I'm trusting in the Lord and that he will get me through them. And every panic attack that I've ever had, I've survived. So he hasn't failed me yet. Now it doesn't change the feeling of fear that comes over me randomly when they hit. But the mindset that I go about my days makes it easier. Because it's like, okay, let's say I do have one. Like right now, one hit me. I know that I'm going to be okay because the Lord is with me and he's protecting me. And if I'm not okay and it is something more serious and I do die, well, I know where I'm going. Do I still have some questions and things that I would like to work out with my faith? Of course. There's always more stuff to learn and more things to recognize. And, a couple of them are nothing big. Like I have no doubts as far as like my salvation is concerned. I know where I'm going. Jesus died on the cross and resurrected. I understand all of that. So I'm not worried about my salvation, not in the slightest. But I'm trying to live a life that honors God, and there's certain things that I do that don't necessarily honor him. They're not necessarily condemned in the Bible either, but the Bible says we shouldn't fear. Well, these panic attacks are pure fear. So by giving in to that fear, I'm kind of, giving in to something else that's not God, which isn't right. So getting over that fear is difficult. And I know that it's not impossible to get over, it's just difficult. And I know in time a lot of that will pass. It's just, it's one of those things where I just wanted to share with y'all where I am, emotionally. And emotionally I'm I'm a lot happier. I'm more at peace than I've been in a long time. And, you know, it's just nice to know, you know, and like I said, and if you guys are like, you know, completely against God and you don't want to hear about scripture or whatever while listening to a video about fishing, I understand that. Because I do want to find a way to incorporate it. I've been praying about it and a way to do it. I have a few ideas. But also, I got to find a way to make more time just to get out and make videos. Like I said, I just moved. So, I'm still in the same area. Just I moved out of my mother's house because I felt like the life I was living and what I needed to do wasn't honoring them. Where's a fishy? And that's one of the tenets of the Bible, is you should honor your mother and your father. And staying at my parents' house and then telling them that I want to marry the girl that I'm with, and then going and spending money on a ring and all this stuff while I'm supposed to be saving money for our own house, just kind of would seem kind of like a slap in the face to them. And I asked my mom if she would find that disrespectful, and she said she would, and rightfully so. And so I'm supposed to be saving every dime to save up for a house while living in your house, and then I tell you, hey, by the way, I'm about to get married, or I want to get married, I got to go out and buy a ring and do all this stuff. It's gonna be like a little, you know, not that she's not against us getting married, but you know, just the, dude, you ate this thing really weird. I can't get a hold of it. There we go. Nice little bluegill. And so yeah, in order to get right with that, that's what I needed to do. And yeah, so another little bluegill. Actually, this is a warmouth? No, it's a bluegill. Very pretty bluegill. Pretty little guy. Nice little pretties on his face, and starting to get some of their spring colors in. So yeah. Ooh. It's crazy how much easier it is when you downsize your hook a little bit. Another nice little gill. And so yeah, I had to get all that straight. As far as my mother is concerned, she's doing pretty good. She's still technically cancer free, but you know, there's an 86% chance it'll come back. So we're not 100% out of the woods, but you know, I say we're on the right track with it at least. Then going back to, you know, I had to have 3 teeth pulled over the past 2 weeks maybe. That's another thing that I've been neglecting, is my own health. And so I've had 3 teeth pulled, and the one on my right side is still healing. I think that one may have gotten a dry socket because it's taken way longer than the other ones are. And it's the only one that's actually hurt me in the healing process and still hurts. Which is why I might sound a little bit different, because I'm having to talk different, because my gum, the spot where the tooth was pulled, is really sore still. So, but yeah, so there's that. Hopefully you guys understand the whole wanting to find a way to incorporate my beliefs into the thing, because I believe that, you know, I just figured I'd give you guys my testimony of what I've gone through, you know, and if that helps you in some way, I'm glad. But just know that I didn't do any of it on my own. It was all through Jesus Christ and the strength of God, just, you know, basically supporting me even though I was not supporting him. Which is one of the most beautiful things that I could say about him, is like, of all my friends in the world that I've had, and keyword in the world, and I mean literally like physical friends that I've had, only a few have ever really been there for me as far as like actually when I needed them. But I'm a pretty self-sufficient person, so I don't really always need them in that aspect. I'm much better at counseling other people than I am at counseling myself, which has always been the case. And yeah, I want to get this smaller fly back down there where we saw those bigger gills. But yeah, so I know I'm really just rambling a lot here, guys, but you guys know that's what I do. It's been a while since I talked to y'all. I've missed talking to y'all, believe it or not. It's just been really hard to get out and go fishing with my anxiety the way that it was, because I was afraid I was going to get out here, have an anxiety attack, and have to deal with it. And now it's like, okay, I'm out here. I have one. Is it embarrassing? Yes. Will I be okay? Yes. If I'm not okay, well, so be it. I'm doing everything that I can, trying to live my life right, trying to follow the teachings that Jesus left and all that stuff. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Will I fail? Absolutely. But because of his love and his sacrifice, I'm able to keep doing what I do. And I'm just trying to show my appreciation for it. Oh, there's a hole there. I could have sworn there was a way to step on this that doesn't collapse. All right, so there's some nice sized gills down there. Let's see if we can get these ones to eat. They're not real big. Got one. Red breast. Oh no, is that pumpkin seed? Wow, he's pretty. Look at that, guys. Beautiful fish. Gorgeous. So yeah, now if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me, like that are like in the future related to like faith stuff that you don't want to ask on YouTube, if I have an answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't know, I will be honest and tell you that I don't know. Because like I said, I'm still learning when it comes to the Gospels. I'm currently reading through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I'm at like Matthew 17. I've read snippets of them before, but I've never read them from like start to finish. So I decided that I wanted to do that. And I'm currently working through Matthew. And I'm enjoying it so far. I just got to the parable of the sower and all that stuff. And you know, I don't want to be one of the ones cast out in the stony field like I was before. And I definitely don't want to be one of the ones cast into the thorns. I want to be one of the ones in the good earth. Pop, pop. Well, there we go. We got a little bass. He's looking at it, but he's not feeding. See if we can get his attention. Oh, we had a bluegill. They're all hiding underneath this log.
Look at this guy. What is this? Whoa, look at the colors on this guy. Talk about beautiful. This is a warmouth. He came darting out and all I saw was the orange fins. Look at how bright those oranges are. I'm gonna get a spot where you can see it better. Look how bright the fins are. They're absolutely gorgeous little fish. You are, I know, I feel you. Beautiful little guy. That was a very pretty fish, guys. It's kind of funny, last time I came here they were all dull and grayed out, kind of like I was. And now that I've renewed my faith in Christ, the fish are beautiful again. Literally. Like not even like just being, you know, it's just funny how that all lines up, you know, and it's just, and I find that another reason why I think those anxiety attacks hit me so hard, like the panic attacks are the ones that come out of nowhere when I'm not thinking about it. The anxiety attacks are like the panic attacks that are brought on by the fear of the panic attack. And here we go, pretty little fishy. And I feel like one of the reasons why I'd have them is when you're thinking about anxiety attacks, you're focusing on yourself, the way you feel, the way your body is responding, the way it's all you. Now this is just for me, it may be different for other people, but once I realize and I quit thinking about myself and I start focusing on God, if I'm fully focused on God, I'm not focused on how I'm feeling because I'm thinking about Him. So it's kind of hard to have a panic attack when you're thinking about God. Impossible? No. Do I still get them? Yes. Because I'm not perfect. If I was, I wouldn't need Jesus. So, you know, there we go, guys. A little bit bigger. Might be the biggest one of the day. Heard something moving in the grass behind me. So there's something moving in the grass behind me. So I think I'm gonna get my cup and I'm gonna move because it could be a snake. It's either a snake or a really big bee or something stuck in the grass. My money's on snake because the grass is actively moving. So I'm gonna get out of here. That's to not get bit. Because if it is a moccasin, they are territorial and they will bite you if they detect you as a threat. I mean, I could watch the grass move, but I couldn't see what was underneath it. So we're gonna just dilly on back. What we might do is go fish that opening pool, see if there's any fish there. Because it was so pretty, you know, might as well give a few casts. And if there's not, we might hit the industrial pond on my way back to my parents' house. Because at some point today, my mom's gonna get picked up from the hospital and I'll have to watch my little brother for a little while they go get her. She had a double kidney infection and they had to admit her and give her antibiotics and all that stuff. And she's been having some really severe back pain, and they're trying to do it. And they kept her in an extra day to do an MRI or a CAT scan. I can't remember which one it was, to see if there was anything they could see as the reason why the back pain was there. I'm hoping they can find something and it's something that's easily fixed. Hey, excuse me, sir. But you know, God willing, that's something easily fixed. But yeah, so that's basically the gist of what's going on. I know this video might be a little short, I don't know yet. I haven't edited it. But I do have another fly I want to try, which is why I might stop by the industrial pond, hoping we might be able to get a couple of those little bass with it. Ooh. It's like a marabou minnow style fly, but its pants are falling down. Anyway, let's see if there's anything in this little drainage patch. Well, so far, all I feel is current. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this up and head to the industrial pond. So I'll meet you guys there. All right, guys, we have made it to the industrial pond. And today's goal is to hopefully catch something. Now, let's see. Now I have some marabou minnows I want to try for some bass, but I do see a lot of bluegill swimming down there too, so it's kind of a catch-22 on what I want to do here. I think I'm going to switch to the marabou because we've already caught a few bluegills today, and I like to mix up the species a bit. So we're gonna switch. I'm thinking either olive or black. The water's kind of clear, so I'm thinking olive. And these are what I mean by the marabou minnows. So what I did was, and I can't take full credit for this because I saw it on Savage Fly's video, is you take a marabou feather and you catch it in right there, and then you just roll the feather around and then tie in for a head, and there's your fly. Really simple, really easy. I think we're going to start with olive. If olive doesn't work, I might switch to black. I just think olive generally works good in this part of where I live. Olive is generally a good color, especially in the swampy parts. This isn't really swampy, but it's still kind of, you know, shallow, so it should still be fine. They're not weighted. I have no lead in them. I generally don't weight my flies because a lot of the water that I fish generally tends to be shallow. So I generally don't need to weight it. You definitely could, especially if you're using it on like a more traditional setup as opposed to Tenkara. I would definitely maybe say weight it because it's not going to sink very fast at all. Alright guys, fly is tied on. Let's get the rod all extended. See what we can do. I gotta wait for this thing to get wet. That's the only thing I don't like about using marabou, is it takes a minute to kind of soak through the water, which is actually good if you want to fish it as a topwater for the first few minutes of its. Oh, you got a nice fish. Looks like you got a nice bass. Can't tell. There's a guy fishing back there behind me. Nice! I don't know if he's talking to me or somebody else. I really need this thing to get wet so it'll sink. Fish out where it's a bit deeper. See if we can get a nice little bass to eat. Got him. It's like a nice sized bass, guys. Just gonna keep him, let him tire himself out a little bit. It's not super heavy pound test here. So I don't wanna force him too hard. Oh, he's in the grass. Come on, bud. Oh, come on. Of course somebody calls me. Hello? Hey, hold on. Let me put you on speaker.
Okay.
I'm recording. I got a bass on the line.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I might lose him though. He's in a big patch of grass. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Nope, I got him. There we go. There we go. Well, the marabou minnow works. Not too bad. Got a big old cut on his back. Not too bad for a little bassy bass. All right, here you go, little dude. And he's off. All right, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to that culvert over there, and we're gonna see if we can get some bass to bite. Maybe we'll get lucky. Who knows? But we'll see. Little bass. Hey. Here's your baby one. Here's your baby. Hey, come here, little dude. Little bass. Alright guys, it's hot. I am not dressed and or used to the heat yet. My steering wheel's hot. But that trip was pretty good. That was a nice sized bass. I wasn't expecting on catching anything like that today. It's definitely welcome though. But my tooth is starting to, well, my gum is starting to bother me a bit. I need to go home and flush it, make sure I don't have something stuck in there. Yeah, I had, like I said, I had 3 teeth pulled, one up here, one down here, and one over here. And I have another one over here that's got to be pulled. They wanted to do a root canal, but I was like, let's just pull it, it's cheaper. So, yeah. So, yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, share, subscribe, and most importantly, take it easy.